Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we are back again with another Alliance War video, and this time around New Nation's going to be going up against Salty, a very capable Masters level alliance, and this is our second war. We did win the first one, so hopefully, well, we're going to see how we do here. So for my own fights, I am bringing in Odin, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Human Torch, but realistically, it's going to be a full-on CGR war. It's just going to be one of those where we're going to go in and nuke everything like we don't even care, even some of the more trickier fights. Right, so as we can see here, Salty, we did have like an early start, but the war was very close. At every given point, the war was extremely close, where a single death would basically turn the tide of the war, so that is worth keeping in mind. And I start on path 8. There was one fight that I could have taken, but kind of got early lifted off me, which is that joint fight over there. I believe it was Vision Arcus, which I would have CGR'd as well. But one of my teammates, I believe, took it with the Red Hulk or something like that. Either way, first fight here is Icarus. And against CGR, it's going to be as simple of a fight as it can be. Now, my ability accuracy is reduced for each buff he gets, so you can see that my parries can fail there. Therefore, we just baited out a heavy attack, and we just went in for a level 2. He did not get to reach 3 bars of power. And after my level 2, CGR does what CGR does, and that is one dead Icarus. So that is kind of like the beauty of CGR with power boosts. Even without power boosts, like after that level 2, the only thing you need to do is kind of get an opening. So for a lot of these fights, you don't need that power boost, which is kind of worth keeping your mind on, because if you use the Cosmic Power Boost, well, number one, it gets costly at times, and number two, you can just run out of them because there's a limit of how much you can buy those. So it's something that I will try to keep in mind myself, that for a lot of these fights, you don't need a Cosmic Power Boost. It's very nice and reassuring to be at level 3 after your level 2, but that's not it. And this next one is Hazard Shift, Incinerate, Shock, Void. And we're just taking no prisoners again. This might not be the best strategy here, but it is going to work out for us. We are definitely going to take some damage. I did not manage my hit count. Now we are in shock phase, and I'm getting a whole bunch of shocks on me. But after my level 2, we can see that I'm doing a ton of damage, go for another level 2, and even though my health is ticking down from all of those shocks and Void's ability itself, it's just a nuke fight altogether. So again, might not be the best strategy for this fight, but as far as I'm concerned with CGR fights, is like the only way you can die with those is if you're not fast. Like, even fight like this where I'm taking so much damage per second, the CGR's ridiculous damage just finishes fights fast enough if you are able to be aggressive and carry on attacking. And then for the second part, here's going to be my one and only Human Torch fight. I was debating switching my mastery setup for this fight because I did have double edge on me for the CGR fights, because I'm running half recall tree there. But I figured with Nova Flames, we should be fine. So we can see that there's Opportunist, Inevitable Power, Power Efficiency. There's nothing that should complicate this fight to any reasonable degree. And the plan is just to nuke down. We have a Mystic Champion, we have Human Torch. So initially, I do want to do my 3-hit combos, obviously be kind of conservative. Ideally, do not trigger his aura, but here I did. So at this point, we can see that he's already halfway down, and that's how the fight's pretty much gonna go. Now he does drop his level 2. I take it all in the block. There's no point in trying to evade it, and by the time the level 2 animation finishes out, the Mojo is dead. That's just Human Torch against Mystic Champions. And now we are gonna go and do the rest of the fights that I have left in this war. Again, even at this point, one death completely changes the flow of this war, and we just need to do our best. First war, we finished with 2 deaths as an alliance, 1 in our battle group. 1 and I believe BG1, BG2 got a donut, so we are hoping for equally good performance. Now I'm going up against Gore on this Rich Get Richer node, and he will be winning with buffs initially, as we can see here, especially because he did get that Flourish buff. He is a defensive tactic defender, so he does drop his level 1, which is fine. I go in, now finish combo with Light, and as soon as I use my special attack, we will be fine. So here I do drop that one. I did activate the 2 Odin's pre-fights before this fight as well, so I start with an aptitude buff every fight, so I do not need to drop a heavy attack to kind of finish that cycle. 1 level 2, 1 level 3, and the fight is over here again. It's just a very, very typical CGR fight. Now, the next fight, I believe, is going to go tiny bit wrong. We're going up against Galen. And the important thing against Galen to remember is that he's immune to power manipulation. So when I do have Fate Seal on Galen, he can still gain power. Now, rest of the stuff, the offensive tactic that for whatever reason they actually gave CGR as if he needed any more offensive help, is going to help me because in this meta, CGR has access to Fate Seal and Neutralize. I had a teammate of mine put on White Magneto pre-fight, and the plan here is I wanted the level 2, but I didn't get it. I did have Neutralize on him when he activated his level 1. That is quite helpful because he did not get any planetary mass. But because of Rich Get Richer node, I actually pushed myself to level 3 there. And yeah, that wasn't according to the plan. So what I'm going to do here, obviously, is use the level 3, get that massive Fury, and then I just need to get to level 2. Thanks to Rich Get Richer, again, I have 2 bars of power here because I was consistently getting power. And level 2, the job is done. Now, this next fight is going to be the last fight for me in this war as well. Is going to be the Cork on the Hazard Shift. And that Cork is scary. I did the fight previous war as well, and I did kind of less than optimal rotation there. Is because we didn't necessarily know how to take this fight ideally. So it is stun immune, Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Poison. And obviously have all the Cork's mechanics to deal with, and he's a global defender, which means if he hits my block, he's going to get a Flourish buff, which is going to increase his combat power rate, which obviously is quite meaningful as well for fights like this. And the first time around, I went for 2 level 3s here, and then a level 2 to finish off the fight, but I also was taking quite a bit of damage meanwhile, because it's quite hard or almost impossible to time everything when you are fighting against Gore, getting rid of his charges, making sure that you are in your Incinerate phase, and so on and so forth. But in reality, it is kind of more straightforward than that. And one thing that I did forget to do is what I would want to do in this fight is I would put on the Liquid Courage Mastery as well, instead of just having double edge. So I would have full Recall 3, giving me additional 30% attack. But that's fine. So the second thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to activate Power Stat 1 boost, because the plan here is go for a combo with finish, light finish, combo with medium finish, and then I will definitely have more than enough power to drop a level 2. And because that is basically exactly 2 combos, I also make sure that he doesn't have any rock stacks active. And it actually gave me enough power to push me to 3 bars back up. So that was the bit I was kind of worried about. But since we do have 3 bars of power, obviously, after eating that level 1, I dropped my level 3, and that Cork is down on 11%. And I just get in a single hit, and you could see that I was nearly back at level 3 again. And this scary mini-boss turns out to be a 39-second fight for CGR, 28 hits. And the biggest hit there apparently was that 153k level 3. And yeah, now it definitely isn't scary. Both of the first wars, we saw this placement. I am not too sure if we're going to keep seeing it the rest of the season, because it's one of those things that's kind of tricky if you're not familiar with the fight. But once the season kind of progresses, I doubt we're going to see Cork all the time on that node, because, yeah, pretty much every alliance has like ranked up CGRs and, players who know how to use it. And as soon as, fights like this would show how easy and quick it can be to deal with that fight, then, they kind of lose their meaning. But that is one of the things that I do like about new defensive tactics, new offensive tactics, because there are always new and interesting matchups coming with these node combinations. And it's only a matter of finding the perfect counters for them. All that being said, unfortunately, we did end up losing the war. We lost 3 deaths to 4 deaths. And it sucked. We were ahead on time as well. So had Salty died one more time, we would have gotten the W with the time as a tiebreaker. Unfortunately, they didn't. They played very well. They played very, very clean. And that means that New Nation started the season with 1 win, 1 loss. And we're going to have an amazing rest of the season if we want to get to the top 3, which is the goal of New Nation. For those of you who do not know or haven't heard, New Nation actually underwent some changes. We basically changed about 10 players in our roster, which is kind of substituted pretty much an entire battle group in order to try and be more competitive in Alliance War. And Sweden and the most capable players of Swedish Alliance came over, which means we did take a bit of a step back in terms of prestige and Alliance size, but hopefully improved our ability to compete in Alliance War even further. So we do have quite a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform our best and have a great season. And having to start the season with 1 win, 1 loss definitely, kind of adds to it, puts more pressure on it, because we do want to make to the top 3, which now is going to be so much harder. But on the bright side, CGR absolutely smashed this entire thing. Let me know what you guys think of this war video, and I am going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the